The pitch. A little tap. Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win! Long drive! Watch that, baby! This is a grand slam! Home run!
Tonight's game with the Phillies and the Cubs is brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By Ford. Bank on your Quality Plus Ford dealer for great savings during Leadership Month. By the Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. No other book can match it. Bell of Pennsylvania, a Bell Atlantic company. And by Dodge. Rediscover American values at your local Dodge dealer. Where it's advantage. Dodge. Good evening, everyone, from Wrigley Field in Chicago. Welcome to Phillies baseball. Tonight, the first of a three-game series, the Phillies and the Chicago Cubs. Harry Callis along with Rich Ashburn and Andy Musser. It's Jason Grimsley for the Phils, Greg Maddux for Chicago. Both pitchers coming in with an 0.00 ERA. With the wind blowing out tonight, Whitey, that might change.
Well, it should. You hope that Jason Grimsley doesn't walk in this ballpark and see the wind blowing out like it is and try to change his style. Now, this is very similar to the game he pitched in Plant City this spring with the wind blowing straight out, and the Phillies hit 6 home runs in that game, and I think Cincinnati hit 4 or 5. But this is definitely a tough night for pitchers.
The Phillies only won 2 games at Wrigley Field all of last year, Andy, but the lights are on tonight. That's a good sign.
Good indeed for the Phillies. The Cubs should not schedule night games here with the Phillies because they've played here 5 times. The Phillies have under the lights, and they're undefeated. They've won 3, and 2 of them were rained out, so we'll see if we can keep that record intact.
Greg Maddux going against Jason Grimsley, and we'll have the starting lineups for tonight's game right after these messages. For the Phillies tonight, under Nick Lavin, it'll be Lenny Dykstra in center field leading off. Wally Backman second base batting second. Bon Hayes left field hitting third. Dale Murphy right field bats fourth. John Kruk at first base hitting fifth. Darren Dalton catching batting sixth. Dickie Thon at shortstop hit seventh. Charlie Hayes third baseman batting eighth. And Jason Grimsley pitching and hitting ninth. Cubs have taken the field, and Greg Maddux is ready to go to work. Lenny Dykstra hitting .391, tied for fifth in the league in hitting. Leads the league in runs scored with 10 of them. 1 ball and no strikes to Dykstra. Maddux just turned 25 yesterday, 6 foot 170 pounds from Las Vegas, Nevada. Coming off a year in which he won 15 and lost 15. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dykstra. Maddux is a workhorse. 237 innings he pitched last year. 1-0 this year with an 0.0 ERA. Beat St. Louis 2-0, working 8 innings in that game.
Maddux is unpredictable. You never know what he's going to do. In his first game, he pitched 8 shutout innings, so he's off to a good start.
Ground ball hit sharply, but at grace, and Dykstra is retired, 1 down. The umpires tonight, Jerry Davis calling the balls and strikes, Tom Hallion at first base, John McSherry at second base, and Bob Davidson umpiring at third. Wally Backman has been moved up to number 2 spot in the batting order, getting Darren Dalton down behind John Kruk. Backman hitting at .188. This is 3,000th major league at bat. Hit well into center, but Doug DeCenzo is there, and Backman is out. Doug DeCenzo has never made an error in the major leagues. This is his 341st chance, and he has not made an error yet. This ballpark, Wrigley Field, is 355 down the left field line, 368 to the power alleys, 400 to straightaway center, and 353 to right. Von Hayes takes one high. There you see another dimension. On the other side of Waveland Avenue, that apartment, it's 455 to that apartment building. And believe me, there have been balls hit there, although that actually is in foul territory. 2 balls and no strikes to Hayes, hitting at 273. And he pops that one up into shallow center. Sean Dunston out. He puts it away. A 1-2-3 inning for Maddox. No runs, hits, or errors, and none left at the end of 1/2. Phillies nothing. Chicago coming to bat. Cubs facing Grimsley. Doug DeCenzo, center fielder, leads off. Ryan Sandberg at second base. Mark Grace at first base. George Bell, left fielder. Andre Dawson, right fielder. Damon Berryhill, catcher. Sean Dunston, shortstop. Rookie Gary Scott at third, and Greg Maddux, the pitcher. Doug DeCenzo, switch hitting center fielder, the first one to face Grimsley, 1-0. DeCenzo is batting at .231. Outside corner, it's 1-1 to Doug DeCenzo. Jerome Walton's been out with a stomach virus. He's on a day-to-day basis. Good breaking ball. Grimsley in his first outing against the New York Mets struck out a career-high 9, and he had a superb curveball that night at Shea, or that day at Shea Stadium.
That was a pretty good one he just threw to DeCenzo. Maybe he can throw another one of those.
Senza, who has been pesky against the Phillies, opens the Cubs half of the first with a 2-base hit.
He did throw him another curve and smoked it. Pretty good pitch too. It was down.
That'll bring up Ryan Sandberg. Ryan hitting 174 in the early going, coming off a great year in which he had 306 and led the league in homers with 40 of them. The Cubs have a good lineup. Surprisingly, they have not hit well in the early going. It's been real cold here. Their team batting average is .229. 1 strike to Ryan Sandberg. Very pleasant here tonight. It's 64 degrees at game time. Wind blowing out 25 miles an hour. One ball and 1 strike. Birthday wishes tonight to Stan Zungolo, longtime Phillies fan and listener, watching the ball game in Langhorne, Pennsylvania. Oh, wild pitch will move DeCenzo up to third base.
That'll change Sandberg's approach. Now, he was up there thinking about moving the runner and hitting the opposite field. He'll be hitting straight away now, and you worry about that. He can get the ball airborne, and he'll get a lot of help with the wind blowing straight out.
2 balls and a strike. Another wild pitch, and that will bring DeCenzo in to score. So a double and back-to-back wild pitches, and it's 1-0 Cubs, and it's 3 balls and a strike to Ryan Sandberg.
And those pitches are bouncing way up in front of home plate. Look at there. Dalton has had a piece of the mid on both of those, but much he could do with him. It's like a one-run handicap.
On the inside corner, it's a full count. 3-2 to Sandberg. He jumped away from this pitch, but it had a part of the plate. Frank and Judy Hoover from Swedesboro, New Jersey here. Struck him out. That's one down. It'll bring up Mark Grace.
Now this is Grimsley's fastball, but it isn't straight. It's almost like a cut fastball or a sailor. He cannot throw a straight pitch.
Mark Grace hitting .318. He's a lifetime .307 hitter. Hit .309 last year. Grace has really got to like this Cub lineup because teams are going to throw right-handers against the Cubs almost every opportunity they get. With Sandberg and Dawson and George Bell now and Sean Dunston, we're going to see a lot of right-hand pitching, and it should play into the left-hand hitting Mark Grace's hands. 2-1. Jim Sortino, Notre Dame student here cheering for the Phils from Audubon, Pennsylvania.
And we have George Thorogood and his Destroyers here tonight, rooting for the Phillies out of the Delaware Valley.
Games played today. St. Louis spoiled Montreal's home opener, beat Montreal 5-4. And in the American League, Cleveland beat Boston 1-0 in 13 innings on Brooke Jacoby's home run. Baltimore beat Milwaukee 7-2. Glenn Davis homered in that one. And the White Sox beat New York 6-5. The Pale Hose remain undefeated. He walks Grace. It will bring up George Bell. In that St. Louis win over Montreal, Montreal carried a 4-2 lead into the 9th inning. Tim Burke came in, didn't get anybody out, gave up 3 straight hits. Cardinals got 3 runs in the 9th, and then Lee Smith struck out the side in the bottom of the 9th to match his league-leading 4th save. Guerrero hit 2 home runs in that game for St. Louis, and Galarraga hit 1 for Montreal. Bell hitting .240. Coming off a year at Toronto in which he hit .265 with 21 homers, knocked in 86. His best year was in '87 when he had 47 homers, 134 RBIs for the Blue Jays. 2-0. Matt Bolger from Yardley is here.
Grimsley's not missing much, except on those 2 wild pitches, but the rest of his pitches have been fairly close. He doesn't want to get in a big, deep hole here in the first inning with walks.
Just missed. 3-0.
Could see a green light here on this 3-0 count.
Wind blowing out. He got a green light. Hits it to Charlie Hayes at third. They get 1. No chance for a double play. So they get the force on Grace at second base for out number 2. And it will bring on the Hawk Andre Dawson. Dawson coming off a fine year. He hit .310, 27 homers, knocked in 100. Hitting .261 in the early going. Scott Drenning is here with his family, wife Janine and son Nicholas. His dad John Drenning watching back in Harleysville. at the Great Lakes Naval Training Center. 1-0 Cubs were in the first. Popped him up. First base side, John Kruk drifting around. Makes the catch in the outfield grass. That'll retire the side. The Cubs score a run on one hit. No errors, and they leave one, and after one, it's 1-0 Chicago. April 28th, the big day at Veterans Stadium. It's Fanatic's birthday, and special guests, the Mutant Ninja Turtles, will be on hand. All fans 14 and under receive a tie-dyed neon green cap with the Fanatic featured on the front. Compliments of Tasty Cake. The Phils and the Padres. For information, call 463-1000 or stop by the Center City ticket office at First Pennsylvania Bank Center Square. That's Sunday, April 28th. 0-2 the count to Dale Murphy, who's hitting at .208. Murphy has not been a good hitter at all lifetime against Maddox. He's just 2 for 18 lifetime. Wrigley Field does not bother this little bulldog Maddox. He gave up 1 home run every 21.5 innings last year. That was second best among all National League starting pitchers. It's a surprising stat considering he pitches half the time here in this ballpark, which is a home run park. Murphy called out on strikes.
Fastball outside corner.
And back a little bit.
Perfect pitch.
Yep. Here's John Kruk. He has hit safely in all 6 games, hitting at .333. Leads the league in runs batted in with 11. Krucker has not been a real good hitter against Maddox either. 194 lifetime. Fouls it out of play. Kruk hit one onto Sheffield Avenue in batting practice, right on out of this ballpark. Chops the ball to Grace. Grace to Maddox covering and plenty of time, and that's 2 outs. Maddox is a great fielding pitcher. He helps himself with his glove as well. He led the major leagues last year in chances accepted with no errors.
Just a flip over to Maddox covering, and Grace gave him a good toss.
Here's Darren Dalton. He has been a good hitter against Maddox, a lifetime .300 hitter with a home run. He loves to hit at Wrigley, where Dutch is a lifetime .378 hitter. In the inside corner, 0-2.
Maddox really has a good moving fastball. It's a little tail on it. Comes back, catches the inside corner.
I'm glad to see this Jerry Davis giving pitchers corners. In the early going, we've seen very small strike zones and an awful lot of bases on balls. Changeup. Pulled him, struck him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Maddox. No runs, hits, errors, and none left. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 1-0 Chicago. Telecast is presented by authority of the Phillies and may not be rebroadcast in any form without the express written consent of the Phillies. Trivia question tonight. The Cubs are the first team since 1984 to field 3 former MVPs. Ryan Sandberg, Andre Dawson, and George Bell in the lineup. Can you name that 84 team, which also had 3 MVPs in their batting order? It'll be an American League team. Barry Hill lines it foul. Barry Hill had rotator cuff surgery and was out most of last year. He's hitting at .250. Switch hitting catcher, and they're really counting on his comeback. Tom and Karen Hazel from Sicklerville here celebrating Tom's birthday at Wrigley, cheering for the Phils. Right up the elevator shaft behind second base. Dickie Thon, the wind's blowing it, makes a basket catch. Thon stuck with it. Good play by Dickie on that high pop with the wind carrying it away from him. Dickey smiling, telling Wally Backman, next time you've got it.
This is like playing in Candlestick Park. The wind blows out there like this most of the time. Gusting a little bit too.
John Dunston off to a good start. He's hitting .318. Dunston is one of the Cubs that did not hurt the Phillies last year. He hit just .204 against the Phils. One ball and one strike. Cubs lead 1-0. We're in the bottom of the second. Two and one. Hot shot. Nice grab. Charlie Hayes throws out Dunston on a good play by Charlie. That's two down, and that'll bring on rookie third baseman Gary Scott. Gary Scott making the jump from Double-A ball. He's only had 2 professional seasons. Went to Villanova. Where he's a freshman All-American in '87 and the Big East Player of the Year in '89. At .448 in '89. They say he is an outstanding glove at third base. He's hitting .188 in the early going. At .295 for Winston-Salem, .308 for Charlotte last year. Scott is from Pelham, New York. Cues a foul to Jose Martinez, first base coach. Chuck Cottier coaches at third for Don Zimmer. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's leading Pittsburgh 3-0. Bottom of the third at Pittsburgh behind David Collins. In the air to Von Hayes. And the Cubs are out in turn in the second. No runs, hits, or errors, and none left. We go to the third with a score 1-0 Chicago. To mark down on your calendars, Sunday, May 5th, the Phils and Tom Lasorda's Dodgers, and baseball gloves for all youngsters 14 and under. Burgundy Fielder's gloves, perfect for Little League play. Compliments of Thriftway Supermarkets. That's Sunday, May 5th. Gloves for all youngsters. For tickets, call 463-1000. Phils and the Dodgers that day. 1 strike to Dickie Thon. Dickie hitting at .273. 2 strikes to him. Maddox has been getting ahead of just about every hitter. Collins been a good hitter lifetime against Maddox, .333. He's out of there. 3rd strikeout for Maddox. And the batter will be Charlie Hayes.
Hitters are looking for something they're not getting. This is a fastball. Certainly hittable. It's a nice pitch outside corner, but when that happens, the hitter is guessing.
Charlie Hayes has not had any success at all against this right-hander. He is 1 for 16 lifetime against Maddox. 1-1.
Maddox will throw in on hitters, and then he likes to go away.
Fouls it off, 1-2. Our trivia question tonight: the Cubs, the first team since '84 to have 3 former MVPs in the lineup. Can you name that '84 team, which also had 3 MVPs in their batting order? It's an American League team.
Probably those New York Yankees, Harry.
Back up the middle, Charlie Hayes singles to center field for the first hit, and the first base runner against Maddox. We'll bring on Jason Grimsley, who will try to move him along.
A pretty good pitch, slider out away, and Grimsley will be up there to bunt.
Yep. No, not the Yankees. He would have up it into him, 1-0. On the other coast.
West Coast. Well, if it's on the West Coast, it has to be Oakland.
Would be those California Angels. We had Rod Carew, Reggie Jackson, and Fred Lynn. Same lineup. I knew that would get a wave off. 2-0 to Grimsley. He's around to bunt. Bunts a foul. It's 2-1. Maddox's lifetime is 160 in the major leagues, lost 53. 7-5 lifetime against the Phillies. Takes it low. It's 3-1.
Zimmer in his 5th year of managing the Cubs.
He walks. So Grimsley was up there to give him an out, and instead draws a walk, and the Phillies have 2 men on base with 1 out for Lenny Dykstra. And he grounded sharply to Mark Grace, his first time up. Hit in the gap, the deep right center field. That's extra bases for Dykstra. Charlie Hayes scores. Here comes Jason Grimsley. He scores. Lenny with a triple. And the Phillies lead it 2-1 on a 2-run triple by Lenny Dykstra. I can't believe how far to the opposite field the Cubs play Lenny Dykstra. DeCenzo is shading him way over in left center field. And
there's a Spalding guide swing, folks. He split that gap, and I mean deep right center. That wasn't splitting it short, that was splitting it deep.
Now the Cubs will bring the infield up with Dykstra at third base and 1 out for Wally Backman, who lined to center his first time up. Backman, they're playing to the opposite field. You can understand that. But Dykstra has more pop and more ability to pull the ball. That's about the way they were playing Dykstra. 2 balls and no strikes to Backman. What hurt Maddox in this inning was the walk to Jason Grimsley. Bills have taken a 2-1 lead here in the third.
Most hitters love to hit with the infield in, and I'm sure Wally Backman is no exception to that. Especially with a count of 2-0.
Line drive, but it's foul left field side. 2-1 to Wally Backman. Those have taken a 2-1 lead here in the third inning. Ball skips away from Barry Hill. Here comes Dykstra, but a bad throw, and Lenny scores. And it's now a 3-1 ball game.
I think that'll be a pass ball, Harry. Barry Hill might have been crossed up.
That's what they call it, pass ball.
Dykstra started late.
He had to catch it.
And that was a easily catchable. Dykstra started late. Now, if Barry Hill would have made a good throw here, we'd have had a play at home plate, but threw it way wide of the pitcher. No contest.
3-1 to Backman. And Backman's aboard with a walk. His second walk in the inning. Surrendered by Maddox, and that'll bring up Bon Hayes. Bon popped up to Sean Dunston his first time up.
And you see Zimmer shift his eyes like that. He doesn't like what he's watching.
Maddox retired the first 7 in a row, 3 of them by strikeouts, and schools Bond with an off-speed pitch, a changeup. And a single by Charlie Hayes. He walked Jason Grimsley. Dykstra triple. Backman a walk. Right there, Hayes in the hole, 0-2.
Bon has guessed on both pitches he's looked at. He's guessed wrong on both of them. First one was a changeup. Second one was a good hittable fastball.
He gets jammed and pops a foul down the third base side.
That one he just kind of spoiled. The hitter can hardly guess here. He has to be ready for almost anything, and Maddox made a good pitch there, a fastball in on him.
He swings and he misses, and Hayes chasing a bad pitch as a strikeout victim. That's the 4th strikeout for Maddox. 2 down here in the third. The batter will be Dale Murphy.
And he guessed wrong again. Ball bounced up in front of home plate.
Those are tough to hit.
Can hit him with a scoop shovel.
Murphy struck out his first time up. Hayes at a low and away slider.
Saw Johnny Kellison hit a 1 bounce pitch, a clean single into right field against the Giants out in San Francisco. You have to wonder about a guy that can hit it that well on the bounce.
Wally Backman at first base with 2 outs here in the third. 3 runs in. Phillies lead 3-1. One to Murphy. taken off, but it's grounded to the third baseman, Scott. Murphy retired, so are the Phillies in the third, but the Phillies scored 3 runs in the inning on 2 hits along with 2 walks. No Cub errors, but there was a pass ball and 1 man left. We go to the bottom half of the third. It's 3-1 Phils. Maddox leads off. Maddox, a lifetime 182 hitter, is 0 for 3 this year. Phils lead 3-1, bottom of the third. 0-2 to Maddox. Well, the Phillies are going to hold a first ever annual Phillies ballperson tryout on Saturday, April 20th at Veterans Stadium. Anyone 18 years of age or older. Maddox got an 0-2 pitch right down the middle to hit, and he singles up the middle. Not a good pitch by Grimsley, who had him buried in the count.
Yeah, I think he wanted to get that pitch up a little bit, but he got it right through the about waist high, a little bit on the inside part of the plate, but it's a good pitch to hit when you're bailing out a little bit.
And it'll bring up Doug DeCenzo, who doubled and scored the Cubs run his first time up. The ballperson tryout is Saturday, April 20th. Registration begins at 10 at Veterans Stadium. You enter at the press entrance under Gate B. Contestants asked to bring a baseball glove, wear comfortable clothing, and bring sneakers. Ballperson tryout. Only contestants will be permitted in the stadium. One ball and no strikes. DeCenzo, a pesky little guy, has hit 2 major league home runs, both off Phillies pitching.
Tom Zimmer asked me to show this fella DeCenzo how to bunt.
Did you?
Not yet.
Deep shortstop. Dickie Thon will get the play at second base on a good play by Thon. On to Wally Backman. That's the only play he would have had. DeCenzo at first on a fielder's choice, and the batter will be Ryan Sandberg.
Now that takes a base hit away from DeCenzo, because there would have certainly been no play at first. Kind of a clumsy slide there by Maddox.
Sandberg struck out his first time up. Fouls it back and out of play. 0-1 to Sandberg.
Tried to get the Cubs to renegotiate a new contract for him this spring. The Cubs did not. And now he says he won't even negotiate during the season. He'll wait till the season's over, but I don't think they can afford to lose this guy.
There goes the base runner. Big jump. Dalton can't get the handle. It didn't matter. DeCenzo had that baby stolen. 1-1 to count to Sandberg.
Third stolen base for DeCenzo. He did have a huge jump.
One ball and 1 strike to Sandberg. Way away from him. 1-2. Sandberg has won 8 straight Gold Gloves at second base.
It's that pitch that breaks late. Broke outside. Grimsley has great movement to his fastball. Throwing more fastballs tonight.
did at Shea Stadium. He threw an awful lot of curveballs in that game at Shea. Atlanta leads Houston 1-0 after 3 at Fulton County Stadium behind John Smoltz. Wild pitch. There goes DeCenzo to third. The third wild pitch uncorked by Grimsley tonight.
And all of them with DeCenzo on base. Well, when you say wild pitch, I mean those are wild. Way low, way outside.
Phillies keep the infield back. They'll concede a run on a ground ball with a runner at third and 1 out. Full count. Second walk surrendered by Grimsley, and that'll bring up Mark Grace. He walked his first time up.
Dalton trying to get Grimsley, focused in a little bit. He had Sandberg a ball and 2 strikes and then missed badly on 3 pitches.
Here's Mark Grace. He walked his first time up. Chicago runners first and third. Sandberg could try to steal a base. He stole 25 of them last year. One strike to Grace.
I think Sandberg will hold for a little bit, keep that hole open between first and second.
Ball 1.
Zimmer likes to play hit and run and hit. But I would think here he would want Grace to pick his own pitch.
There goes Sandberg. The pitch is very low. No throw for Dalton. Stolen base. Ryan Sandberg.
Sandberg's first. I guess if you can get a jump like they're getting on Grimsley, you might as well steal it. I mean, those are tremendous jumps. Senzo had one, and now Sandberg.
Cub runners at second and third with 1 out. 2-1 the count to Grace. Base hit to right field. DeCenzo scores. Sandberg is held at third. And it's now a 3-2 ball game on the RBI single by Grace.
Surprised they held Sandberg, but I guess with 1 out, they didn't want to take a chance. Murphy did make a pretty strong throw. And he ripped that low pitch. Murphy came up firing.
That'll bring up George Bell. Bell hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. Oh, another wild pitch. Sandberg scores. Grace to second base. We're tied at 3-3. Wild pitch number 4 in the game. Uncorked by Grimsley.
And Johnny Padres is out to talk to Grimsley. Well, we said earlier, wild pitches, those are really wild. I think that one bounced and hit Dalton off the mask. Dutch is diving and jumping and look at this one. Right off the front of his mask.
The stolen bases and wild pitches have taken any chance of double play possibilities out of this game for Grimsley. 2-0. Last time he was up there, he got a green light 3-0. Zimmer may think twice about that. I think he gave Grimsley a break there as he hit into a fielder's choice.
I think tonight, with that wind blowing out, he'd let him hack away. Evidently not, because that would have been a good one to hit.
3-1 to George Bell. The middle, Dickey Thon, a good play, and he gets Bell. Fine play by Thon. Dickey has really made some good ones tonight. Moving up to third is Grace, and the batter will be Andre Dawson.
Bell hit this right off the end of the bat, so it wasn't really a bullet off the bat. Kruk getting a low throw. John's played an excellent defensive first base this year.
And Andre Dawson, the batter, popped up his first time up. 1-0.
Grimsley's all over the place. He just doesn't seem to have any idea about his location. Of course, you worry here about a wild pitch again.
He's on court 4 of them. The Phillies' record for wild pitches in a game, 5 by Ken Howell in 1989, right here at Wrigley Field. Off the end of his bat, it's 2-1 to Dawson. Tied at 3 here in the third. Grace at third base with 2 outs. 3-1. Let's pause for station identification on the Phillies television network.
WTXF, Fox 29 in Philadelphia.
Ooh, he was trying to hit that ball into the next county. That's one thing about Jason Grimsley. Stuff-wise, he's got good stuff. You can sit on a 3-1 fastball, and it moves enough so that you don't get the good part of the bat on it. He can throw strikes. He can be a big winner. That wasn't a strike, but the Hawk chased it, struck him out to retire the side. Cubs scored 2 in the inning on 2 hits. No Philly errors, 1 man left. Andy Musser comes your way in the fourth after 3. It's Phillies 3 and Chicago 3.
Was brought to you by Budweiser with that distinctively clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. And by the Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages, no other book can match it. Bell of Pennsylvania, a Bell Atlantic company. And by Dodge, rediscover American values at your local Dodge dealer where it's Advantage Dodge. Andy Musser with us in the fourth. Andy.
Okay, Whitey, it's John Kruk at the plate. Tie ball game. Kruk sporting his brand new number 29 tonight. Giving up number 28 to Mitch Williams for 2 cases of beer. Actually, had Mitch known John a little bit better, he could have driven a harder bargain. Because Kruk doesn't care what he wears. Base hit for John. Leading off the Phillies' fourth. A single to right field for Kruk, the Phillies' third hit.
Evidently, John Kruk doesn't get attached to numbers. He wears enough of them.
He's got a great explanation, Whitey. He says, you know, when you're in the uniform playing, you don't know what number you've got on. In steps Darren Dalton, who struck out in his first trip to the plate tonight. Here's Darren tonight hitting out of the number 6 spot. It could be one of those games, and we've seen many of them here at Wrigley, where no lead is safe. Last team that scores wins.
That good changeup. Well, he really deceives the hitter. He has the good arm speed. And the hitter, you know, looks at the motion instead of at the ball.
Darren loves to hit in this park. He's got good lifetime numbers here. Stopped by Barry Hill. Pitch was down in the dirt. We've seen quite a few of them tonight. We've already had 4 wild pitches and a pass ball in this game. We're in the 4th inning. Two balls and a strike on Dalton.
And that's his straight sinker, which also has good movement. Comes up there and breaks down. Dalton's trying to get a ball airborne.
And here is one hit in the air. DeCenzo gets back, lines it up, makes the catch. Dalton nailed it, but DeCenzo was able to get back and catch it. DeCenzo is the best outfielder the Cubs have. He's filling in for Walton right now, and Jerome might have a tough time getting his job back. A lot of people like DeCenzo. Gives him better defense. Dickie Thon called out on strikes his first trip tonight. Kruk at first, 1 out. Phillies and Cubs in a 3-3 tie. Vaughn hits one into the air, but not deep and right. This will be an easy play for Dawson. 2 out. Next up for the Phillies, Charlie Hayes. Charlie got that 3-run third started with a base hit with 1 out. Until that point, Greg Maddux had just breezed through the lineup. So here's Charlie in the number 8 spot tonight. Nobody likes that spot, do they?
I guess they don't. It's better than no spot at all. But, you know, Charlie, I think, has hit as well out of the 8 spot as he has any spot. He's been in the 6-hole quite a bit. He was a pretty good, you know, they had him there last year for a while, and he did a good job out of that 8-hole.
Cubs people telling us that the youngster Gary Scott is doing a good job in their 8-hole because he has walked so much so far. Here's one rolled towards Sandberg. The Gold Glover picks it up. That's Ryne Sandberg and what he can do. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. Go to the Cubs' 4th. It's 3-3. Doesn't mean you can't still get Phillies season tickets. You can, and they start as low as $84.50 for a 13-game plan. Actually, the Phillies have 11 different plans for all types of budgets and schedules. Here's the number to call to investigate: 463-5000. Call weekdays between 9 and 5. Damon Berryhill popped up in his first at-bat tonight. We have a 3-3 tie game, bottom half of the 4th. You know, the Cubs do not have a winning record in night games here. Over the 3 seasons that they've played under the lights, they are 18-19. Berryhill's aim this year when he went to spring training was just to make the ball club for those shoulder problems he had. But then Joe Girardi, who was ostensibly the starting catcher for the Cubs, had a bad spring, didn't hit much at all. Berryhill won his old job back. Two and 2 on Damon. Off-speed pitch for a strike, and it's been a while since Grimsley got that breaking ball over. His 3rd strikeout.
Not sure he got this one over. Close to the outside corner, but I believe it's a little outside. Yeah, it was. Dalton pulled it in.
Now Dunston will bat. Sean grounded out to third baseman Charlie Hayes. Are they discussing where he is allowed to put that back foot? He's right on the line.
Hitters try to get as far away as they can from the pitcher. I wouldn't think a couple inches would make any difference, but I guess it does in a hitter's mind.
And yet we see some of them, like Dale Murphy, for example, stand in the middle of the box. Other batters standing up further, especially when they're facing a breaking ball pitcher. 2-0 on Dunston. There was a time when Sean would have swung at least one of these pitches. He was the original free swinger for a couple of years, and now he's a little more harnessed. Strike. It's 3-1 on Dunston.
Yeah, it was a real miracle if he ever got a base on balls. He still likes to swing, but not nearly as much as he used to be.
He'll take the walk. Third batter walked by Grimsley. Cubs have a runner here with 1 out. Gary Scott will step in for his second at-bat. Scott fly to left in his initial try. I introduced myself to Gary tonight, and as much as my off-season job is Villanova basketball, and he said, yeah, I thought about playing basketball at Villanova, but I felt it would be too much with my schoolwork. Of course, he was a baseball player of some note there. He was the Big East Player of the Year one year when he was at Villanova. He left after his junior season after the Cubs drafted him. Takes a strike. He did tell me that when he was in high school, he was a shooting guard. He said, when I got the ball, I shot it.
It was my philosophy. Let the best shooter shoot it, and that was the best shooter.
Probably your best sport, right?
wasn't bad.
Back to the mound. Grimsley plays for one. Get two. Double play ends the inning. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. At the end of 4, it's a 3-3 game. By Core State's First Pennsylvania Bank. We believe in the power of relationships. Jason Grimsley leads off the Phillies' 5th inning. Jason walked and scored tonight. There was a pitcher hit a home run in this ballpark yesterday, Bob Walk. He also suffered a groin injury, and today Walk was placed on the disabled list for Pittsburgh. Maddox walked Grimsley, as we mentioned last time, one of 2 walks he has made. Now he falls behind 2-0. And that time, of course, Grimsley was up there to bunt. 2-1 on Jason.
Jason's strong enough and quick enough with that bat to hit one out of here.
Better hit it to right if he's going to. And there is a ball to right field. Here comes the Hawk. The wind keeps it up in the air. The line drive is caught by the on-charging Dawson.
The wind has shifted a little bit. You're right. It was blowing straight out at game time. Now it's shifted a little bit towards right center. Where you see that flag in center field.
The old crosswind, so it will not give any help to a ball hit to left. Lenny Dykstra gets in. Lenny with the big blow for the Phillies so far tonight, a 2-run triple. Scoring later himself on a pass ball. Lenny is 1 for 2.
I think that scoreboard in center field is the only one in the major leagues where they still put the scores up by hand.
Not only that, but as we've often remarked, you really don't see the score unless you total it yourself.
There you see the men working back there.
Flashing signs. They've been accused of it, haven't they? Dykstra fooled on an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, they did it. I played here 2 years, and one of those years they did flash the signs out of the scoreboard. Didn't do much good. The Cubs finished, I think, 6th in an 8-team league.
Dykstra pulls it hard, but Grace is there. He holds off Maddox and makes the play himself. 2 down. Second time Dykstra has grounded out to Mark Grace.
Yeah, he's hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. 2 outs to Grace have both been bullets. You saw Grace just kind of, give a little ground there to make the play. That was ripped.
Wally Backman steps in. Wally has lined to center, stinging the ball. He walked his last time up. Takes a strike. Nick Leyva hoping, as we check money in the dugout, hoping that a promotion to this number 2 spot will help Wally get on track a little bit, and also that putting Darren Dalton down in the number 6 spot will give him some more RBIs. And the other factor involved here is that it doesn't give the Phillies 3 consecutive left-handed batters at the top of the lineup, where in late game stages it makes it easier for the opposing manager to bring in a lefty. And 2 on Backman. Last year Wally hit .387 versus the Cubs. Called out on strikes. Strikeout number 5 for Greg Maddox, and the Phillies go in order in the 5th inning. We go to the last of the 5th, and the Cubs and Phillies are tied 3-3. Recap of the scoring tonight. Cubs got 1 in the first on DeCenzo's double and a couple of wild pitches. Phillies came back to take a 3-1 lead. The big blow there was Lenny Dykstra's 2-run triple, and then he scored on a pass ball, so the Phillies led 3-1 before the Cubs came back with 2 in the 3rd inning, and Greg Maddox got a single to start that inning. There were a couple of stolen bases the inning. Grace singled 1 in, and a wild pitch brought in 1 run. Speaking of Maddox, he will now lead off the 5th inning for Chicago, and he sends one into the air to deep left center field. Dykstra back, catches it. No, the ball is in play. Maddox turns second. He will stay there. It'll be a lead-off double, and Dykstra is on the warning track. He hit that wall pretty hard. Money.
He had it in his glove. I don't know whether the wall bounced it out or it almost appeared as though he didn't have it solid in his glove. It hit his glove. Like that beer. Somebody's throwing beer out there. Yeah, I believe the ball dropped out of his glove before he hit the wall. Yeah, he got leather on it but couldn't hold on. That's kind of tacky to throw beer at a fielder coming over to field the ball. And bleacher fans can get a little rowdy at times.
Warm-up jacket for Maddox. And as a pitcher, he's doing a pretty good job with the stick tonight, single and double. He represents a lead run in this game. We're tied 3-3, and now the Cubs send their leadoff hitter up there, Doug Dascenzo, who has doubled and hit into a fielder's choice. He scored twice. He'll be trying to move the runner. Dascenzo takes low, ball 1. Dascenzo pitched for Oklahoma State in the 1984 College World Series. And he pitched an inning for the Cubs last year. Here's a ground ball, and Kruk thinks about going to third, decides not to. Good thing he didn't throw over there.
Yeah, good thing he didn't throw over there because Charlie Hayes wasn't on the bag or didn't make a move towards the bag. I think had Charlie Hayes moved right to the bag, Kruk would have hit him. Where a third baseman has to really be alert. See, he looked there and he was going to gun, but Charlie was still in his position, had not moved towards the bag.
Infield is in. Want to cut off the go-ahead run here in the 5th inning with Ryne Sandberg at the plate. Oh, and Dalton just got some leather on that. Almost wild pitch number 5. Here comes skipper Nick Leyva out of the dugout.
Well, nobody's warming up, so he just wants to deliver a lecture out there of some kind. And that was Dalton's really been doing a lot of dodging and weaving back there tonight.
Dalton wasn't in the way. We could do a little lip reading there.
No, don't think we'd want him.
Whatever Nick said, he said it succinctly, didn't he? Von Hayes and Dykstra have had a conference in the outfield. Nick back to the dugout. It's a 3-3 game, but the Cubs are threatening in the 5th. This is only the 2nd time this year that the wind has blown out here at Wrigley. It was blowing in a gale in their series against the Cardinals. It was blowing out here yesterday when they played Pittsburgh. That's ball 2, 2-0. The infield remains in tight. Sandberg has struck out and walked in this game, scoring once. Sandberg is never much of a hitter in April. He is a .230 lifetime April hitter.
Now, see, you don't want to walk him. I mean, as dangerous as he is or can be, now you're going to walk him, and you got Grace up there with the infield back again.
They give him a light. A pop-up, and it will not get the run in. He got the 3-0 green light, and Dickie Thon squeezes it for the 2nd out.
Okay, you can say you were very fortunate in that at-bat by Sandberg. He also had a good 3-0 pitch to hit and didn't hit it. Look at this pitch. Now, this is almost down the middle of the plate. A little towards the outside half, but pitch that he'll usually rip somewhere.
Mark Grace has walked and singled, driving in a run, takes a strike.
I guess that's what Nick told him. Go to 3-0 and then get him out on the 3-0 pitch, huh?
This one's good. Oh, Grace swings through one. 0-2 on Grace.
That was a curveball, and he had not been throwing that probably because he was bouncing most of them up there, and they were wild pitches. You certainly don't want a wild pitch now again with that runner on third.
Two pitch.
Well, that was close. I guess a little inside.
Two. Mark Grace played only a month and a half of AAA baseball, and he didn't hit at the AAA level. He won a AA batting title and is a .300 lifetime hitter in the big leagues, but during the brief time that he spent in AAA, he was telling me tonight he didn't hit. It's a ground ball here right to Kruk. He got a little bit of a crazy hop, but John was ready for it. Makes the play, and the Phillies out of trouble in the fifth. No runs, one hit, one left. After 5, it's 3-3. Pitchers are making out. We have a tie game, so the pitchers' numbers are similar. Grimsley has given up one more hit. Maddox has a couple more strikeouts. The one big difference, of course, the wild pitch column. We don't show you that, but I can tell you that Grimsley has 4 wild pitches and Maddox has none. There was one Cub pass ball, though, that allowed a run to score. That building's for sale, Whitey. What do you say we get together and get a little tax shelter going here? Huh?
Trouble is that you can only use it during the summer.
That's a point.
It'd be about 5 months where wouldn't be anybody up there.
Von Hayes has popped up and struck out. We're in the 6th inning of a 3-3 game. Two balls and a strike. Hayes, Murphy, and Kruk.
Vaughn might get a pitch to hit here. He really hasn't had a good cut at one all night. I think he's been guessing wrong, but you know, he hits well in this ballpark and he loves to hit here. He got his fastball. It was up a little bit. Now he ought to get another one.
3-1. Pounds it foul.
That sinker ball and a little low. I guarantee you he won't give him a fastball. It'll be either change up, take something off a sinker.
The strike zone. Number 6 in the strikeout column.
Yeah, it was a ball. It was a changeup, probably a little outside also. Vaughn knows it. Disgusted with himself.
Here's Dale Murphy. Murph has been called out on strikes and grounded to third. He's 0 for 2, and Greg Maddux has always been difficult for Murphy. He was 2 for 20 lifetime. In other words, he's batting 100 off Maddux.
And nobody on the Phillies has been able to get a ball airborne with any distance except Dalton. Got one to deep center field. That's the deepest part of this park. Hit his triple in the gap in right center. But it wasn't a home run shot by any means.
Is that the drill sergeant there? Dick Pohl.
Dick Pohl.
Pitching coach. looks like everybody always said he looks like a Marine drill sergeant. Murphy in the hole 0-2, and Maddox had him in the hole before.
That off-speed pitch, straight changeup, and well, that's not even close to the strike zone. Murphy was swinging the bat very well up until this game. The series that Philly just finished against St. Louis, he had some great swings in that series.
Maddox wins and gets strikeout number 7. Maddox's career high in strikeouts came against the Phillies in September of '87 when he fanned 10.
Same pitch, down low, change up, not a strike.
John Kruk gets in. Kruk is 1 for 2 this evening, a grounder to first and a single to right. Phillies have 3 hits. Kruk single, Charlie Hayes single, and Lenny Dykstra's 2-run triple.
Maddox features that what they call a circle change that Johnny Padres teaches also.
In the air, Dascenzo chasing. He's there. Dascenzo had time to run it down, and the Phillies are out in the 6th. The Cubs will bat in the 6th, and it's still 3-3. Telling me before the game that he has not yet hit one into the wind here. He says, I've hit nothing but ground balls and a couple of line drives. How do you think he's going to fare in the outfield here in the long run, Waiter?
Well, the plus for him is that there isn't a whole lot of outfield to cover here. But the minus is that, you know, you have a lot of problem here in the daytime with the winds and the sun. If he hits enough, they don't really care about how he plays the outfield.
In Toronto, they desperately wanted to make him a designated hitter, but he didn't want to be one.
The guy that he had the hassles with up there, the manager Jimmy Williams, he's of course gone too.
Here's a pop-up. Took a big swing and gets a little pop-up. Charlie Hayes squeezes it, 1 out in the 6th.
It was a real bad pitch he went after. It was a high breaking ball, but it was too high. You know, there's such a thing as throwing that breaking pitch too high. Might have been about 6 inches lower. He might have hit it into Waveland Avenue, but he just couldn't get up that high to hit it.
The Hawk, Andre tonight, has popped up and struck out. Grimsley has given up 4 hits, but he's made 4 wild pitches. Had trouble getting that curve over tonight. 2-0. Was getting it over early in the game, but then ran into a stretch where he really had trouble with it. That led to those wild pitches. 3-0 on the Hawk. Dawson hurt the Phillies last year, batted .375 with 4 homers, 12 RBIs. 3-0 pitch coming. He walks. The 4th walk Grimsley has handed out. See, Grimsley is not wearing a long sleeve underjersey tonight. It's a windy night here at Wrigley, but it's not that cold. It was 64 at game time. Probably dropped a little bit, but not bad at all. Berryhill has popped up and was called out on strikes. Runner goes. Berryhill fouls it back. They were starting Dawson.
Well, they didn't have a chance to get him either. He Dalton's hollering at him right now, you know, take a look at the runner. You wouldn't think you'd have to tell a pitcher that, but I mean, they're really taking some liberties on Grimsley running the bases.
That's a strike, and the Hawk was holding. It's 0-2. Backup catcher Hector Villanueva is on the disabled list right now. The Cubs, however, do have a third catcher, Eric Pappas, a youngster from right here in Chicago, who can also play the outfield and first base as their third catcher. Outside, 1-2. Joe Girardi, of course, is the other catcher who wound up as the regular coming down the stretch last year, actually most of last year after Berryhill was hurt. You know, this year when Berryhill was the catcher on opening day, it was the first time he had ever played a game in April for the Cubs. On Damon Berryhill. Tommy Green is in the Phillies bullpen and throwing now.
Cranked up yesterday for 3 innings or better.
Yesterday, the Phillies got into their bullpen in the 2nd inning, and you can't do that too often, and you certainly don't want to do it in consecutive games. That's why it's a good thing that Grimsley's got him in the 6th tonight. The Hawk is back.
3 2/3 innings yesterday.
Phillies have a pitcher who leads the league in appearances so far, and I'm talking about Joe Baber. He has been in 5 games, 5 of the 6 for the Phillies. No other National League pitcher has been in 5 games. Pitch out, and Berryhill swung at it anyway. What's going on?
I don't know. I don't know whether it could have been a hit and run, which would, you know, force the hitter to swing. That's right. It was a pitch out. Zimmer's wondering. It must have been Berryhill, because he's giving Berryhill kind of a dirty look. There goes those eyes.
Sean Dunston gets in. He's grounded out and walked. 2 outs in the inning. And the Hawk was leaning, and then Grimsley bounces the ball to first. Nice stop by Kruk.
I roomed with Zimmer for 2 years. I recognize a lot of those looks. That last one, when he rolled those eyes upward, he said, well, I thought I'd seen everything.
Probably made that same look a few times when you came in late.
Not me.
Ooh. Aaron Dalton has really been tested tonight.
If I came in later than Zimmer, I was out all night. He used to, in fact, a lot of times he didn't come in. He'd come right to the ballpark with these day games here, and he'd get in the ballpark about 7 o'clock and go to sleep on the trainer's table. Sleep there, you know, time to take batting practice. Was beamed twice, once in 1953, once in 1955. Almost died both times. He has steel buttons in his head to hold his skull together.
Two or nothing on Dunston. Nothing has come easily for Grimsley tonight. Dunston reverting to form a bit and swinging at a pitch out of the strike zone. Used to be he'd do that all the time. 2-1 on Sean from Brooklyn, New York.
#1 draft choice.
Picked ahead of Doc Gooden.
Yeah.
There goes the Hawk. Ball is grounded for the hole, and it's a base hit, but Dawson's going to try to get to third. He will get to third. So Dunston singles, and there are runners at first and third.
The ball sharply hit a pretty good pitch out away from him.
They are at the corners with 2 out, and the youngster Gary Scott has a chance to do some damage here. He has flied to left and grounded into a double play, hitting the ball back to Grimsley. Pitch high to Scott.
Haven't seen much of Scott, but he does have a quick bat. If you have a quick bat, you have a chance to be a hitter. If you have a slow bat, you're in trouble.
Dalton, I tell you what, Dalton is going to enjoy his post-game beer tonight. It's going to struggle for him.
And don't think that he isn't getting a little shaky back there. Every time that ball comes up there low, he's a little nervous.
Yes, and Rich, doesn't it have something to do, too, with the way you call a game? I mean, there are times when you'd like to, from a catcher's point of view, you'd like to call that breaking ball. You don't want to do it, though.
Sure, at some hitters, you want to bounce it up there. Not with runners on third. I don't know what that sign is all about that Dutch was giving.
2-0 is the count here on Scott. Ball 3, and we got a pretty good hitter on deck now. Greg Maddox is 2 for 2 in this game. Single and double. Scott swings 3-0 and gets a base hit, and the Cubs take the lead 4-3. Dunston to third, and rookie Gary Scott has put his team on top.
Hit it right off the end of the bat. Looped it in. 3-0 pitch, and Nick Lavis coming out. Probably to make a pitching change. Nothing you can do about that.
He's already motioned for Tommy Green to enter this ball game. As you mentioned, Tommy was in for the Phillies yesterday, and he worked 3 2/3 innings, giving up 4 hits and 2 runs to the St. Louis Cardinals. And a pitching change at Wrigley Field with the Cubs leading 4-3. We shall return. Here, Tom has worked 6 2/3 innings, has given up 5 runs on 7 hits, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. And he's going to be in there in short relief tonight because of working 3 2/3 innings yesterday. But he is scheduled to bat 4th in the 7th inning when the Phillies hit again. The Phillies trail it now 4-3 after that big single by Gary Scott. I guess Nick Leyva just did not want to see Greg Maddox get a 3rd shot at Grimsley. He's 2 for 2 off him.
Well, you know, Grimsley's pitching tonight makes the manager and the coaches awfully nervous, and the players behind him awfully nervous. He never knew when he was going to throw a wild pitch or walk somebody. He had 4 of each.
Maddox bluffs a bunt. There are 2 outs in the inning, so if he's bunting for a hit. He was the one that doubled off the wall in left center field, the one that Dykstra could not hold. Strike. A little bit of a delayed call there by Jerry Davis, who seemed to think it over and then call strike.
Yeah, that ball tailed back a little bit too, and sometimes, you know, they fool the hitters and sometimes fool umpires, I guess. borderline pitch, borderline low, borderline outside.
A cue shot, but there is Kruk to make the play, and that's the final out of the inning. But here in the sixth, the Cubs have gone ahead. 1 run, 2 hits, and there are 2 men left on base. After 6 tonight, the Cubs are on top 4-3.
Ball game here in the 7th as Harry Callis joins us. Harry.
All right, thanks, Rich. And Budweiser and Fox 29 are going to make a designated Bud batter before the 7th inning of every regular season game televised by Fox 29. If any Phillies player hits a home run during that inning, the designated Bud batter earns $100 immediately and shares in a $10,000 bonus pool given out at the end of the season. If you're 21 or older, you can send your name, address, and telephone number to Bud Batter's Box, Post Office Box 13229. St. Louis, Missouri 63157. Aaron Dalton has struck out and flied out to deep center. Count 2-1 to Dalton. Darrell Ackerfeld, who had to leave the game yesterday, evidently is all right. He is loosening up along with Mitch Williams here in the 7th. Tommy Green would be scheduled to be batting 4th here. If we get down to Green, we'll have a pinch hitter for him. 3 balls and a strike to Darren Dalton. Beats that ball foul, a full count.
Phillies have been chasing a lot of bad pitches off Maddox, especially that changeup, and he's like any other pitcher. You have to make him throw strikes, especially Maddox.
Dalton didn't chase that high changeup, and he walks. It'll be the 3rd walk given up by Maddox. It'll bring up Dickie Thon. For our viewers watching on our flagship station, WTXF Fox 29 in Philadelphia, we invite you to stay tuned for the 10 o'clock views immediately following tonight's game. Thon has struck out and flied out to right. Strike to Dickie Thon.
Dickie's been chasing out of the strike zone tonight.
Paul Hassenmacher throwing in Chicago's bullpen.
They're getting him up for Dykstra and top of that Phillies order.
Wheeled to bunt. Takes it inside, 1-1.
I don't think they're going to bunt here.
Cubs lead it by a run, 4-3. He bunts the ball. Maddox throws him out. The sacrifice is good by Dickie Thon. It goes Maddox to Sandberg for out number 1. And they'll bring up Charlie Hayes. Charlie has singled and scored a run and grounded out.
Charlie's hit the ball hard twice off Maddox.
Rod Booker has moved into the on-deck circle. Bat for Green. There's Booker. has thrown a lot of pitches tonight. He has 7 strikeouts and 3 walks. Charlie chasing a bad pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Change up again. Low outside. I can't hit that pitch.
He struck him out. That's 8 strikeouts. For Maddox, 2 down here in the 7th. And John Morris now will come out as a pinch hitter for Tommy Green.
He couldn't hit the one before. He sure wasn't going to hit this one. This was a slider that was low and outside. And this is the one before that. So it's not a good pitch to try to hit. I don't care how many times you swing at it.
Probably why Charlie his hit tonight was only his 2nd off Maddox in 19 at bats. You're going to chase those things. He'll keep throwing them out there.
Morris can't get the get that ring off the. There he got it. The donut they call it.
John Morris is 1 for 3 as a pinch hitter. He is 1 for 1. Let's pause for station identification on the Phillies television network.
WTXF, Fox 29 in Philadelphia.
Darren Dalton at second with 2 outs. We're in the 7th. Cubs lead by a score of 4-3. One strike to Morris. Pittsburgh has just tied up the Mets with a run in the 8th. In the 7th, rather. That's now 3-3 through 7 at 3 Rivers. Howard Johnson hit an upper deck home run in that game, becoming the 5th player in history to hit an upper deck home run at 3 Rivers. Last right-hand batter to do that, the Bull, in '79. Two strikes to John Morris.
Howard must have hit that right-handed then off Lane Smith.
Yep, he was the 3rd right-hand hitter to hit one into the upper deck. Still 0-2 to Morris.
Sometimes takes a few years, but you get to appreciate how good a team that was with Bull and Schmitty and that bunch.
Late
Lefty.
70s.
Yeah.
Larry Boa, Manny Trio, Gary Maddox. What a defense they had.
Bate McBride.
One and two. It was Darren Dalton at second base. He walked. 2 outs here in the 7th.
You can't forget the Tugger.
He had maybe a lefty. Popped him up. Sean Dunston squeezes it. Now we'll retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. Stretch time at Wrigley Field. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Cubs lead 4-3. pitcher is Darrell Ackerfelds coming on for Tommy Green. Ack is appearing in his 4th game. No wins, no losses. His ERA is 6.23. He's pitched 4 1/3 innings, given up quite a few hits. 10 hits, 3 runs, 5 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Ackerfelds had to leave the game yesterday after fielding a ground ball and sprained the little finger of his pitching hand. But he is okay. Doug DeCenzo will be the first one to face him. DeCenzo has doubled, hit into a fielder's choice, and grounded out. He's stolen a base and scored 2 of the 4 Cub runs. 1-0 to DeCenzo. Paul Ossenmacher stays up in Chicago's bullpen. He might come in the 8th inning. 2-0. Got that one over. It's 2-1. There to try to get a walk to lead off the inning. There's a little strike zone. He stands 5'8" is all. Full count. Flicks a single into left center field. So DeCenzo has been pesky tonight. He is a leadoff base runner, and that'll bring up Ryne Sandberg.
Reached out and poked that pitch out away from him. Probably a ball.
Ackerfelds needs to keep his eye on DeCenzo. He's stolen 3 bases already this year. He hadn't been caught. Ryne Sandberg has struck out, walked, and popped up. Mitch Williams throwing down the Phillies bullpen. And Ackerfelds.
Usually you come in here, you get hurt by Sandberg and Dawson. They haven't been much of a problem tonight.
Or has George Bell.
DeCenzo's been trouble, and Mark Grace. And the Phillies probably have been their own worst enemies in terms of wild pitches and walks.
1 ball and no strikes to Ryne Sandberg. Thinks DeCenzo might go. 3 balls and 1 strike to Sandberg. Cubs lead 4-3. We're in the bottom of the 7th. DeCenzo at first base. Was the throw. The base runner, but Sandberg pops a fly to right field. Dale Murphy makes the catch. That's 1 out. And we'll bring up Mark Grace. Grace has walked, singled, and grounded out. He has knocked in a run. And here comes Nick Leyva.
He doesn't want Grace to hit it a right-hander. He's going to bring in that Mitch Williams.
So the Wild Thing will be making his first appearance against his ex-team. Mitch Williams coming in out of the Phillies bullpen. Fans love it. They have to love what he gave him 2 years ago when he saved 36 games for Chicago. For the most part, they're giving him applause. We have a pitching change for the Phils. We're in the 7th. It's 4-3 Cubs. Back after these messages. And Mitch Williams. Williams appearing in his 5th game for the Phils. 0-0 with 2 saves and 0-point ERA. 4 innings, no hits, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks. We'll keep that DeCenzo close.
He has a better move than that.
Mitch Williams got his number 28 back. John Kruk agreed to changing his number so Mitch could have 28. Krucker now wearing 29. Evidently Williams' wife has a lot of jewelry with the number 28. And Krucker got a couple of cases of beer out of it. Hit down the left field foul line, and Hayes, that ball ends up blowing into the crowd. Surprised. I thought the wind would blow it back out toward the playing field. Hayes is surprised too.
It just slammed the brakes on the ball. The wind is really picked up, but it's blowing right straight towards right field now, almost to the right field corner.
Williams misses with his slider. It's 2-2 to Mark Grace. DeCenzo at first base with 1 out. He struck him out. Now Grace goes down swinging. It's out number 2. And it will bring up George Bell.
Chased a bad pitch.
High fastball.
Yeah. Just couldn't catch up to it.
Bell's hit into a fielder's choice, grounded out, and popped up. Which I'm sure has faced him in the American League. 1 strike. Williams said the Cubs tried to get him to throw an off-speed pitch, a curveball, but just not his game. His game is hard fastball, hard slider.
He's not ever going to be a cutesy pitcher. He wants to go right at the hitter with just throw the ball as hard as he can.
There goes DeCenzo, but Bell fouls it back.
He had another good
Yeah,
jump,
he
too.
did. Surprising against Williams, but he did have a good jump. Senzo is, I keep talking about how pesky he is. Every time we see him, Whitey, he's a good little ball player.
And that's a great jump, especially on a pitcher with a left-hander with a good move.
Time call, Dalton.
I think he wants, to tell Mitch, make sure you give that runner on first a good look.
The attendance tonight is 27,794. Bouncing ball to Dickey. Thon to Backman, and that will retire the side. So for the Cubs, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the 8th. Chicago leading the Phillies 4-3. Phillies return to Veterans Stadium. The New York Mets will be the first team in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, April 23rd, 24th, and 25th. All games at 7:35. Phillies and the Mets on the Phillies to start the Phillies' next long homestand. It'll be next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights. For information, call 463-1000. Luis Salazar's coming into the game to play left field. He'll bat in the 9 spot. The new pitcher is Paul Assenmacher, and Assenmacher will bat in the number 4 spot, vacated by George Bell. Lenny Dykstra, the first one to face this left-hander, is 1 out of 3 with a big triple, takes it inside. Lenny's been a good hitter against this left-hand pitcher, 5 for 8 lifetime off Assenmacher. What Lenny has to do to get the Cubs to play him to pull. His outs have been sharply hit ground balls to Mark Grace, and yet they play him to the opposite field. His triple was to right center. Assenmacher's in front of Dykstra, ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 to Lenny Dykstra. He'll be followed by Wally Backman and then Von Hayes. He checked his swing. The appeal going to third base umpire Bob Davidson, who said no swing. 2-2 the count to Dykstra.
You don't see Dykstra get involved in many half swings. He'll start that trigger sometimes or pull that trigger, but then he stops quickly.
Dave Smith is up in the Cubs bullpen now. Loops a fly ball down the left field foul line and out of play. Well, it's still 2-2. And 2 strikes to Lenny Dykstra. He misses the ball. Berryhill does too, but throws him out. Well, Dykstra is a strikeout victim. It'll bring up Wally Backman.
See Lenny swinging a pitch that bounces up there very often either, but a breaking ball and doesn't do that very often.
Ricky Jordan is going to pinch hit for Wally Backman. Jordan is 1 for 2 this year, both at bats as a pinch hitter. This guy throws a lot of curveballs, and he has a good one, Hassenmacher. Jordan is 1 for 5 off this pitcher. It was a home run. To give Jordan his swing, Dave Smith was not ready, and McLeod looking for a long ball here. He gets a towering drive to right center, but it's going to stay in the park. Caught by Andre Dawson. Ricky Jordan sent Dawson back to the wall. 2 down.
And he hit it the right direction the way the wind's blowing. Just didn't quite hit it all. Looked like it was off the end of the bat a little bit.
And it'll bring up Bon Hayes. Bon has popped up and twice struck out. Missed with the curveball.
One of the few times tonight that Bon's been in a good hitting situation.
Took it on the inside corner. It's 2-1. He had a cut at that fastball and fouled it back. He'll get that big sweeping curve here.
And he had his pitch, and he had to put a good swing on it. Fouled it off.
Hassenmacher is 30 years old. 7-2 with 10 saves for the Cubs last year. Fastball on the outside corner. Hayes caught looking. For the Phils in the 8th, no runs, hits or errors, and none left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-3 Cubs. Baseball is brought to you in part by AT&T Long Distance. All you need to reach out. And by your Nissan dealers who challenge you to find a better car. Randy Reddy now playing second base for the Phils as we move to the bottom of the 8th. Andre Dawson leading it off. He had a cut, fouls it off. The Hawk has popped up, struck out, walked, and scored the go-ahead run. Cubs went ahead on a 2-out base hit by rookie Gary Scott in the 6th inning. Green light on a 3-0 pitch, and there's Randy Reddy, and he flared it into right field. Darren Dalton has been like a dartboard tonight.
Yeah. The punch board, he's going to have a few holes in him. That mask has been hit a lot.
1 strike to the Hawk. There it goes. No doubt about that one. Off the back screen, a home run. Andre Dawson, his first of the year. And the Cubs lead it 5-3. Jumped out of Mitch Williams' fastball.
No doubt about that one. Take a ride on that one, you get somewhere in a hurry.
That'll bring on Damon Berryhill. Corey Hill is popped up and twice struck out. Pops the foul out of play.
Now watch this. This was a fastball, and he knew it. And he hit it.
Foul ball. Third base side. 0-2. Probably ought to pitch out here.
Pitch out.
No chance to strike him out. He struck out his last
That's
at bat.
right.
Upstairs, 1-2. So the Cubs now lead by 2 thanks to the Hawk. 2-2. Scheduled to hit for the Phillies in the 9th would be Dale Murphy, John Kruk, and Darren Dalton. Popped him up. Who wants it? Dickie Thon will make the play for out number 1. I'll bring up Sean Dunston. He is grounded sharply to third, walked and singled. Team in the majors got 3 in the first at home against Minnesota. 3-0. The only undefeated team remains undefeated. The Southsiders, the Chicago White Sox, beat New York today.
5-0.
2-0 to Sean Dunston. Him up in the shallow right. Randy Reddy makes the play. That's 2 outs, and that'll bring up Gary Scott. Scott, the third baseman, is flied out, grounded into a double play, and singled to drive in a run. He's knocked in 4 runs in the early going. This rookie making a big jump to Double-A, from Double-A ball to the majors, 22 years old. A Villanova Wildcat. Fouls it out of play. He hit .295 for Winston-Salem last year with 12 homers, 70 RBIs. 308 at Charlotte toward the end of the year with 4 home runs. Two and one. Two balls and 2 strikes. Darren Dalton, here we are in the late innings. It was a routine foul as he was going back to see if it was playable. He stepped in a hole. It's a tough night for the Dutch. Slider. Ooh.
Close.
Yes, he was. Watch Dalton here. He's had a bad enough night with all these wild pitches. Watch it.
He's already been down a few times.
Low count.
This is a short run back to the fence behind home plate here too. I think if he were in one of the parks, well, you have to run a long way.
Got him with high gas, struck him out. That'll retire the side. The Cubs get a run on the Dawson homer. 1 hit, no errors, and none left. First run and hit given up by Mitch Williams. We go to the ninth. Cubs lead by a score of 5-3. Come off this trip. We have a nice long homestand. 3 with the Mets on April 23rd, 24th, and 25th, all of them at 7:35. Then the Padres in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for a weekend series. Fanatic's birthday on April 28th. And the Padres also in Monday the 29th, and San Francisco for 2, Tuesday and Wednesday the 30th and 1st. And Los Angeles the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Baseball gloves for all youngsters on Sunday, May 5th. For tickets, call 463-1000. Dale Murphy leading it off. Facing Dave Smith. Smith throws the forkball, a fastball, and a slider. Signed by the Cubs as a free agent. He's 36 years of age. One of the game's good closers. 23 saves, 6 wins for Houston last year. 2-1 to count to Murphy. Has 2 saves this year. No wins, no losses, an 0.0 ERA, 2 innings, 3 hits, no runs. 2 strikeouts and no walks. He has 201 career saves. Line shot into deep left center field. This ball's out of here. Home run, Dale Murphy. And all of a sudden it is a 5-4 ball game. The Phillies are within 1.
Murphy's first home run this year.
The ball comes back from the bleacher bums, as is the custom here at Wrigley Field when an opponent hits on. Murphy against Dave Smith. A 190 hitter, but that's his 3rd career homer off him. John Kruk takes it over. Kruk is 1 for 3.
Now the Phillies have to get a base runner.
One and one. Tied with that swing. It's 1 and 2. That's got 6 runs in the top of the 9th against Pittsburgh. Two balls and 2 strikes. Next. How's it back? Still 3-2 to John Kruk. struck at first, represents the tying run, the batter Darren Dalton.
Watch this swing by Dale Murphy. He just hammered that one. Dropped the head of the barrel of the bat right on it. Line drive.
Bleacher bums throwing the ball back.
Pretty good arm.
Darren Dalton has struck out, fly to deep center, and walked. Chuck McElroy, the left-hander, up for Chicago.
McElroy's pitched 2 scoreless innings of relief here.
One strike to Darren Dalton. Corner. Dalton's in the hole, a ball and 2 strikes.
That pitch is a ball, but it was close. See, that's outside. Not much.
Bounding ball might be a double play. Just in time, and Darren Dalton can't believe the call by first base umpire Tom Hallion. Here comes Nick Leva. Vukovich arguing the call. Yeah, that one hurts.
Yeah, that did, because it takes the runner off first base. Frustration. Just look at it. Dunson really has an arm and guns the ball. Yeah, he did beat it. Beat it by quite a little bit. That hurts. Not a thing you can do about it.
Tom Hallion missed that one. Here's Dickie Thon, the last hope for the Phils, has struck out, flied out, and sacrificed. One to Dickie Thon. Ball. 1 and 2. Struck him out to end the game. So the Cubs win this game by a score of 5-4. Greg Maddux will get the win, and Dave Smith the save. Murphy hitting a home run in the 9th inning. That's all the Phillies got. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and none left. 5-4 final Chicago. Back with the totals and recap in just a moment. Cubs win tonight by a score of 5-4. First time the Phillies have lost a game under the lights at Wrigley Field. They were 3-0 prior to tonight. Before winning Chicago, 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors, 6 left. For the Phils, 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 3 left. Dale Murphy, a 9th inning home run, but Andre Dawson hit one in the 8th inning to give the Cubs that 2-run lead, and that held up. The win will go to Greg Maddux, 2-0. The loss to Jason Grimsley. He is 0-1. A save for Dave Smith, his 3rd. 5-4 final Chicago. Back with more from Wrigley Field after this.